Hey everyone, so welcome to a new series of videos that I'm going to have. Today we're playing Supreme Commander 2 for PC. This is a RTS style, like top-down strategy game, kind of like StarCraft, but it plays way different, but it's the same sort of genre. So the normal game, I have an any percent run of the full campaign, and that is about 4.5 hours long. So I thought that was kind of ridiculous to do for one video, and I didn't want to like split the campaign up into a whole bunch of videos and just be like me in one session, because after about 2 hours of running a single game, I get pretty low energy, and I don't think it would be very interesting. I mean, I'm normally kind of low. Either way. Um, so yeah, I'm going to be doing an individual level. Basically every day I'm going to have 1 to 3 levels that I play. Sometimes it'll just be one if they're like a particularly long level. Like this first one is going to probably be 2 because the first 2 levels are relatively short. But I want to give you guys some good content, but I also don't want it to be like 8 hours long because I don't think that's very interesting, and I don't think anyone would watch that. So we're going to be doing the first level. There's only one time where you can actually really cut any time off, so that's going to be pretty negligible. And I'm gonna, for all of these, as soon as you click, that's when the timer starts. So it'll be about 3, 2, 1, set. And all of these times that I have are estimations. They aren't going to be exactly on. They'll actually end up being a little longer in most cases because they are not including the we want to be right out there if I remember correctly. They're not including the ending cinematics in the time, so most of these are going to be pretty these go down here. They're going to be pretty low time estimates. This guy goes up here. Bring these guys right over there. I hope I'm doing this correctly. These go down here.
What about air support?
So yeah, I mostly wanted to do this game because it was one of the first games I ran. And actually, like, Pyre was the first game I ran. However, this was actually the first game I pathed, which is pretty big for me. It was the game that got me, like, I saw this game and I played it and I was like, oh, I can speedrun. This is a cool game for me. This is neat. I can do stuff with this. Especially the Xbox 360 version. And that's something, like, that's honestly, it's dumb. That's one of, like, my dream games to speedrun because it is so incredibly buggy and awesome. And I want to play it and run it so bad. But capture cards are real expensive. I can't really afford that at the moment. But that is one... That's one of the first things I'd like to do whenever I get a budget for this channel, because that's really exciting to me. This game, like, there's not a lot to talk about in this first level. Basically, you just have to clear out those starting guys like we did, and then wait for about 5 minutes because around that time, about 5 minutes after we cleared them, there's a big old wave that comes here, and we just have to like snipe 2 units, and it's pretty. There's not much going on in this level, which is actually kind of perfect because it lets me just explain some of the stuff. So you can see, I think like Planetary Annihilation, that game, has a similar sort of thing where you can scroll out and see like a very tactical view, which I think is super, super cool, and it makes the game very like visually clear, and I like that a lot. It's very appealing to me. And it makes it easy to have a good idea of what's going on all at once, which is really fun for speedrunning. What do I want? I think it is... Can I afford? Yeah, I can afford those. Okay. So yeah, this game's real cool. The PC version is admittedly not the best for speedrunning, mostly because it is just so incredibly long. It gets kind of tedious at points. However, I think that's what will make IL, like focusing on IL runs will be pretty beneficial in this case. There's just a lot of things, like small things, that I think really hold this game back from being awesome for speedrunning compared to something like StarCraft, which I know like even most RTSs aren't very like... A lot of people don't really like RTSs for speedrunning, and I think that's a shame because there's just a lot like... Games like StarCraft are notorious for having incredibly high APM. I am bad at this game. incredibly high APM and lots of skill. And this game doesn't have that quite as much, especially in the campaign. But there's just a very like high skill ceiling for games like this, and it's a little disappointing to me that speedruns in general aren't very popular for them. And I know that doesn't mean a lot, but still, it's just a little disappointing. However, I run this game and I like it, so who cares? And hopefully you guys like this series. I don't know. I'm going to have videos for this coming out every day for a while, and I'll have other things mixed in, but I'm going to be going to a daily upload schedule, basically until the series is done, because it's going to be long, and I don't want it to be like a series that's running for months and months, because I don't think you guys want that. I don't want that. I basically just want to show off this game, because the only other time I played it on my channel, I didn't do any commentary or anything like that, so I didn't really get to talk about the game or explain my thoughts or why I did things, or like I don't know. I didn't get to really explain my logic or where I was coming from, and I didn't find it super interesting comparatively. So hopefully, being able to commentate and explain things will be helpful. Okay. So yeah, as soon as we get these reinforcements, up here is where the people will spawn, and so we're getting close. I would like to have more turrets and more units, but this is not bad. Basically, there's going to be two big boys, or maybe three. I cannot remember. I think it's two, and a whole bunch of little dudes, and we just have to kill the big spider dudes. And once that is done, the level is over, and we move on to 1-2. I will have to cut between each level. So there's a lot of things, like, you can't interact during the cutscene, so all of these guys are, like, fighting and firing, but it's actually impossible to, like, change health. Like, you can have a ton of really strong units focusing one little dude that should die in, like, half a second, and it just doesn't do anything. Like, you'll see none of these guys are blowing up or anything like that. So now we can actually start killing them. Oh, maybe he did interact with the buildings. I've never noticed that. But yeah, basically it just doesn't matter in the cutscene, and that's a little annoying because there's a couple times like that where just like stacking units where enemies spawn during a cutscene could theoretically do a lot of damage, but in reality it doesn't. So yeah, that's the first level, and we're gonna end time. I was considering a bunch of different things because I am the mod for this community because I'm the only one who runs it, but I am going to just do it on the objective complete screen that'll be coming up here in just a couple seconds, because that's consistent through all runs. I could do it whenever you lose control, but then I have to specify exact times for each one, and that could be a little bit confusing, and I want consistency rather than, like, yeah, obviously I can't be doing anything here, but I want consistency instead. So we might actually cut a little time off, which is cool. So yeah, we got 5 seconds off there. So yeah, now we're gonna do the next one, and so that is gonna be 1-2, and I'm going to cut just briefly to reset the splits, but I will be back in just a second. Welcome back, guys. So we're going to be getting right into it. This next one is a bit more of an actual level. That one was essentially a tutorial, even though there is an actual tutorial. That one was just, welcome to the campaign. You can't use all your units or research. Have fun. This one is more of a actual level, and this one's actually one of my favorites. There's like 3 that are my favorite, but I like this one a lot. This one was a lot. I don't know. I just like this one whenever it's pathing. I have a lot of notes for this game, probably more than any other game. So that's pretty neat. I was very into this before I started running. So I'm sorry. 3, 2, 1, set. I have a problem with rambling. I really need to stop that. Hopefully you guys can bear with me. I am learning this as I go. Yes, sir. So, one thing that's really cool, and that are these fighters? I never remember the symbols. No, yeah, these are fighters. So let's go up here. There's a couple mechanics that I really love from this game. One is like the reclamation thing, so you can see all these little units that got destroyed like before the level started. You can reclaim them for materials, and that's really, really cool. The biggest glitch on the Xbox version is centered around that, and basically it lets you have infinite mass and like semi-infinite energy, which those are your two main sources of income. There we go there. So if I'm ever like stop talking, it is because I am attempting to read my notes, and I apologize for that, but that is what's going on. So basically at this very beginning spot, we are going to just be cycling bombers to the first area. And those are units, they're air units. As you can see, they can only attack ground units. And then there are fighters, which can only attack air units. And then there are fighter bombers, which, as you could maybe assume, do both. There's a lot of like neat mechanics with this game. The biggest one is the fact that I can just like repeat it, so I can just keep building units for as long as I need, basically until I run out of money. I can keep building units, and that is very, very convenient because I don't have to keep going back and being like, okay, let me build more bombers, let me just do the basic game functions. It makes it so I can actually worry about other stuff more, because that is one of the more tedious things I think in RTS is just like micromanaging that. I apologize. There's someone mowing their lawn outside. If you can hear that, I'm super sorry. I can't super help it. I will try to, like, if it's loud, I'll figure it out. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. If you can, I apologize. So yeah, we're gonna just be building a ton of air units, both throughout this level and, as you will see later on, just throughout this campaign, because one of the air units, which are gunners, which they are also air units that can only attack ground units, but they are these guys have to like make passes. You'll see like they're flying by and then they'll fly somewhere else. They have to like do that, and they do a lot of burst damage, but it's very, very slow overall, and they kind of suck. But later on, we get access to gunners, or gunships, and we are going to be using those a lot. And we might use those this level, depending on how quickly I can progress. Where is this? I need 6. Oh no, he does have 6. Okay, so yeah, our first objective is going to be to clear out these guys down here, which is not too big of a deal. I'm gonna grab those guys and take them over here. Eventually, I am going to start making fighters as well, and then gunships along with the fighters. I will probably start doing that with beginning with the next air. Is it gantry? No, that's for the Illuminate. I get all the words mixed up. I apologize. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that next. Is focusing on fighters and bombers, because those are really good. Yeah, so air units are just absolutely unbalanced in the campaign. They're not actually broken in the actual game because you can like counterplay them, but most enemies just kind of die to a massive gunships. So that is what we're going to be doing for the majority of the campaign. This is not going terribly. We're having a slow first section, but we're going to be doing pretty well on the second because we have a lot of. You'll see we have 27 bombers down here. And that's a lot.
You should construct mass extractors on the unused mass deposits near your location.
Those renegades are dropping like flies.
Okay, so yeah, we're taking care of the gunships. So once we do this, the map will open up, and like up here where my cursor is, and we can begin dealing with the rest of the base. And then once we do that, we win. So these early levels are pretty simplistic. It doesn't get like super complicated, but it mostly just comes down to like making buildings in the correct order and making units in the correct order and making a correct amount of each unit. That's the big. I gotta do that. Okay. So now we can start doing fighters and bombers. Right there. Okay. And we're actually going to stop making bombers, and we're going to start making gunships. And these things are crazy high DPS and really good. I played a little bit of the multiplayer. This game is like super dead. I would be honestly shocked if people have played it, because even it's the second game, but it is very, very different from the first game, and the community that still plays the first game does not like this game very much. So it's not very popular, but I really, really like it, and I really like the speedrun. I don't know how much of that is nostalgia and how much of that is it being a actual fun game, but at the very minimum, I like the speedrun. What I was going to say is that I played the multiplayer whenever this game was not dead, and I was very young whenever this game was in its heyday. if you can even call it that. But I don't really know much about the balance. I basically just spammed artillery, and if you liked the game, you probably hated me, and I apologize. Okay, so now we're just gonna spam these guys. And this guy is going to go over here. We can start building mass extractors.
We've picked up the signatures of a number of cyber mass extractors west of the enemy base.
So a lot of it, I again apologize for the mowing if you can hear that. Ugh. So yeah, there's not a lot going on here. We're going to try to defend our fighters, obviously. So yeah, we have a lot of bombers. 25 gunships, 20 tanks, 10. Okay, we're not actually going to deal with tanks this time because we are very far ahead on air. That should be good. I'm doing a little bit of a different build than normal. It shouldn't really matter if we're being honest. Yeah. Okay, so these guys are doing this. This guy can go down here. There's a lot of ways to just automate stuff, which I guess makes this game less competitive, but I like it. I don't know. Also, yeah, give me feedback on this series because I'm planning on recording a lot of it, but for future reference, it would be nice. I would greatly appreciate it, whether it's positive or negative. Just feedback in general is super appreciated. I know I say that on a lot of my videos, but mostly just because it is very, very true for me. So we have 14 gunships. We are getting close to what we need. These are bombers, right? I haven't played a ton of this game lately. It's been about a month and a half since I did my previous run, so I'm slightly out of shape, I guess, out of practice. But it should be fine. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna honestly just go up here and take care of this. Are these the fighters? No, bombers. So these guys are gonna go up here, and then everyone else is going to and hopefully we don't lose all our units here, because that would suck. I don't think we will. If we do, we just like rebuild them. We are greatly ahead on time, so I'm kind of greeting here, but it won't slow us too down. Yeah, no, I think we're fine. This is spamming the bombers is actually pretty good. I think I normally do a tank strat for this one, but as you see, the gunships, I don't have very many. I only have like 18, and they are just shredding this stuff. So that is going to be this level, and this level is actually like the 13 was an estimate. I think I had like a 13 like 20 in my any percent run, and this is significantly faster. It's not actually 9 minutes because we have to wait for the finishing cutscene, but yeah. Also, this game is not the best acted voice-wise. It's a little cliche, but I don't know. I'm very, very happy this game is. I'm enjoying this a lot. So hopefully you guys do too. I always want to make content that you guys enjoy, but I am having a lot of fun with this. That is going to be all for today, though. Oh, a couple seconds late on that. Whoops. That's going to be all for today, though. Again, going to have more of this out tomorrow. Probably something different the day after that, because I don't want to just be having this game on my channel for the next 30 years. I'm going to be trying to mix it up. But yeah, this is going to be coming out in like 2-day chunks every time it releases. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. I don't normally... Whatever. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.